And I would say welcome back to Battlefield 3. This is Luetin, and we're looking at defending on Rush Bandar Desert. Now, as I said previously, I'm wanting to look at more defense videos. Whether or not, that actually pans out in the game, I just feel it's important to do, because I think defense is one of the areas which people really need the most advice and suggestions towards how they could perform better or how they could help think differently. Because, as I often say, defense games are often lost on the smallest of details. It's often the small things that people don't think are really a big deal, but actually they are a huge deal. Now, things are very quiet to begin with on this map, and Bandar Desert suffers probably one of the worst situations in terms of openness for its first base. It is so open on this first base, it's so open, and that can make it extremely difficult as a defender. Now you can see we've got almost full teams on both sides, so this is going to be max console action all the way. Now look at this, straight away we've got parachuting action almost immediately onto B, so they're pushing this hard, they really want it, they're so aggressive. Now luckily we have an expert pilot on my team. We've got Ruzi, and you saw him take out that vehicle almost instantly as soon as it came into the base. And having an excellent pilot in a game can really turn the tide. In fact, actually Level Cap said the other day that he really feels that jets should be removed from the next battlefield. I think I'm going to do an entire video talking about that, because I think it's quite a significant and strong talking point, and I think that there are quite a few people who would agree with that. I would be one of them, I actually do. A little bit too much of a burst on that last one there, but I got some good... Whoa! What was going on there? So we've got quite a few of these guys power dropping in. You can see already the AC is starting to pound us. And there we go. Now, the AC-130, now that it's been changed up, it really is quite manageable. However, the most important thing is to think and plan about the AC-130. As you know, now the AC will only spawn generally once a MCOM has been destroyed. So with that in mind, you really need to time when you focus your fire into it, and the team should all be thinking of this. Otherwise you get into a situation like now where it's got a bit of a foothold and all of a sudden it's starting to pound down on people. Now Rusi is unfortunately, I think he's either, I don't know if he's been taken down or whether he's circling, but normally he would handle that. You can see our team has almost been wiped off the face of the map, and we're having real problems getting back into the game here. I'm doing my best with the Igla to focus this thing down. You'll actually see on a lot of games now I tend to run with the Igla, which is unfortunate because often there's a lot of vehicles and things on the ground that really do need taking out, be it on an armoured kill map or just a normal map. But unfortunately so few people take any kind of anti-aircraft equipment that it becomes a real problem, and I find that I'm usually one of the only people who's trying to take down the aircraft. And the thing is, even whoa, that was a big explosion. Even harassing enemy aircraft is a really big deal, because once you start to harass enemy aircraft by locking them up, it can make them start to make errors, which gives other people a chance to take them down, and so on and so on. Look at this enemy team here though, attacking. Not a smart move to push right across this bridge. However, on the other hand, you can flip it and say, well, they've been very aggressive, they took us all out of that last base, and they're trying to use that momentum that they had, the devastation they caused on the first section of the base, to push through and really get onto this base. However, it's kind of not necessarily panning out in reality. That was awful. Terrible gameplay, but why did I not get back on that guy? I should have got straight back onto that guy I already put down on the floor though. I should say as well, this gameplay was recorded quite a while ago, so I've got literally no idea how this game pans out or how successfully I do in it. Again, I was trying to mark that guy there, that's why I was aiming at him, but I couldn't get the mark for some reason. However, I did communicate it to my team, and I was telling them that this guy's coming around him, still trying to get the mark. But these vehicles are putting up, but look how little fire these tanks are taking. Not really taking much damage whatsoever. I think John just managed to take one of them out though. Now I'm just hanging back a little bit here because we obviously had that quad flank us, and I'm very aware of the fact that there could be people in this area, so I was just wanting to keep an eye. A lot of our guys pushed forward. I was just trying to make sure I could keep an eye on this. We've got people over there on the left, you see. so I'm trying to keep half an eye on the right. Now this is something else when you're in game. Don't just pick like, oh okay, I want to be the guy who destroys the tanks, or I do this. You know, I'm trying to take out the aircraft, but at the same time I am also looking around the base at where I need to be. Where is the most important place? Where is our team weak? Where are we weakly defending? You can see here I'm trying to get multiple rockets across, but also see Ruzi's helping us out here. You can see him in the air there. He's going for that AC. And there we go, it's down. So see how fast that went down when you had concerted team effort onto it. I'm trying to repair, but taking a huge volley of fire there from the enemy aircraft. Now you can see that, as I am always saying, momentum is really, really important. But look at how we managed to repel that attack. We took out the guys in front, we took out the AC-130, and we took out the vehicles. So we've really knocked that momentum out of the enemy team. And that first wave of attack, they've lost a good sort of 40 tickets. So it really makes a difference to them in the game if you can really repel that first wave of attack, if you can slow them down. And if you can slow down an attacking team, it's going to make the rest of the round much more manageable for you, because they're going to come in ones and twos, and they're not going to make a big rush. At the start of this round, that was the real make or break moment. I cannot believe this though. Look, we have people right here and no one even spotted these guys. Now also see those guys already there, so whoa, totally overestimated my aim there. Not good at all, not good. Luckily managed to pick him off all the same. Come on, change out. Oh, fail. Bad gunplay. I can't unfortunately remember when this was, so I don't know whether I'd taken a break or whether I was having just a bad day here, but it's just how it goes. Anyway, so yeah, well, we're talking about wave of attack. Now look, we're down to 43 on the attackers. We're still holding both bases. That's pretty good for armoured kill. Unfortunately, look again, people just not looking. We've got so many guys in our base here, but just people are not looking at the objective. I'm putting myself straight on the disarm here. And just get it at the last second. When you're defending, you really need to move around the base. You know, you need to sort of stay in a position, but you need to look at who else is around and assess these situations. I was back there at the other side. There should have been people up here watching. There should have been people checking that these guys were not getting into the base. And unfortunately now we've got the AC back up again. You know, this AC-130 is coming up so often, I wonder whether I recorded this footage before the actual changes they made very recently. I think it's entirely possible. Down we go again. However, that's even better in a way, because to be honest now it's even easier to control the map, and it just shows that even with this AC almost coming in intermittently for us, we still are actually managing to defend quite successfully. It's all just a case of focusing your fire and concentrating on the things that are really important. That AC is going to be going down shortly, hopefully. Just taking a beating right now. There we go. Oh yes, excellent. That was a very bizarre sort of combination kill cam at the end there. We were in the sky and it put me back down once I destroyed it. Okay, unfortunately both the objectives are now armed, but you can see we've got 2 to 3 guys moving on to B. I would really hope that they'd be able to get the disarm. You can see they start disarming here. Do they manage to hold it? They literally just hold their defense. But those tank vehicles are up. You can see our guys moving in back onto the tanks. So important that you destroy the tanks, because they are so strong in these kind of situations. Okay, and we can see that clearly what they've got is recon spawn points up here on the left hand side. It's probably going to be worth someone taking the time to possibly go out and clear that out in that area if it's possible, but we're under such heavy fire it's very difficult to break off and find the time to actually go and do that. And there we go, see people getting back in again, just taking a beating from all sides. And this is again how I often say about the momentum. They're keeping up the pressure of the attack. They're constantly sending people in. They're really pushing hard onto the objective. We've got tanks coming in. We've got the aircraft coming in. They're not letting up. They're making a very... And here's the recon point. Turns out it wasn't in a particularly secret place. I really feel that someone could have spotted that a little bit earlier. But do you see how they keep throwing more and more people at us? And that concerted effort... Come on, where's this guy? that concerted attack where they're pushing again and again and again, they're pushing so hard. I got him with a grenade. It really causes confusion for us, and you guys need to think about this when you're in. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, there we go. Good backup from the teammate there. When you're defending or attacking, you need to think about how they're playing the game. Okay, how are the enemy attacking you? Are they attacking very, very aggressively like this? If so, you need to be really sharp, move around, mark targets, prioritize, destroy those vehicles instantly so that you can get onto other things. If you have a vehicle up and it's harassing you for ages and ages, like for example this, we've got the Amtrak pulled right in. This Amtrak needs to go down. This Amtrak needs to be destroyed almost immediately. You need your full team power to really pressurize that vehicle and take it out. Otherwise, it's going to sit in your base, it's going to focus fire onto the MCOMs. And there we go, you see, we've got an arm now, probably off of that Amtrak coming in, and it's killed everyone else in the process. When an enemy vehicle comes towards a base, it should be getting hit by a volley of enemy fire. It shouldn't be able to sort of stay up, spawn people and arm the objective. And you can see that Amtrak is still actually up. Or is it the Amtrak actually? It might have been something else, I think. But regardless, it doesn't even matter, because that Amtrak, it pushed right up to the base so quickly and it probably spawned a few people. Now we couldn't see that situation, but the key issue is that if a vehicle has the time to be able to actually push up fast into a base, then what's going to happen is that, you know, it causes such chaos and such confusion that you then really can't focus on covering everything else. So even if you manage to destroy the vehicle after it's entered the base, because I actually have been in games recently where people say, oh, the vehicle's down now, the vehicle's down now. That's not the point. The vehicle has already been up for several minutes, and in the time that it's been up for those several minutes, it's probably killed a good 3-4 members of a team or more. It's caused such chaos and confusion in terms of people's attention that they then have to start focusing on other things, which means they're not watching the rest of the base. So even if you take that vehicle out, in the process you've probably allowed another 4 or 5 guys to flank you and get in behind, and then that is where the real issue is. Often the vehicle is not the thing that really causes you the loss of the base or the issue. What causes you the loss of the base is the confusion it creates, which then allows other team members from the enemy to flank you, get in behind, respawn new people. Before you know it, you're being overwhelmed from the side and the flank and the back of you, and then that's when you lose the base. So don't think of vehicles as the thing that's going to destroy your base and lose you. That's not really what you should think of them as. What you just need to identify them as is a very dangerous killing machine, which is going to cause confusion in your base and then ultimately allow your team to lose focus. And when they lose that focus and start running around all over the place, it means they're not marking targets, they're not watching the guys trying to sneak in, and then that is what will lose you the base. It's the stealthing, flanking members. That's always what's going to lose you the game. And I can't even count the number of games I've been in. It happens almost every time I play. There's a vehicle or something like that coming towards the base, and a lot of people start getting killed by it. Then they change class to kind of destroy it, maybe, or maybe it stays up for ages and ages. But basically the long and short of it is the confusion just prevents the focus of defense, and then the base is lost through that. Now again, I'm trying to help Ruzi here take down this AC-130. He's doing a pretty good job, and it looks like we've got some other fire coming in from other people as well, which is really, really good. Now this base theoretically should be very easy for the enemy to take. It's very open, lots of routes in, but the thing that is not on their side is the distance involved. There's a very long distance between this base and the previous base. But we can also see, I remember this game now. We had a couple of guys flanking over here, and I was saying to my guys, they're power dropping in up on the back left side near to A. Now unfortunately, as I recall, we'll see if I'm right, they started to really take a stranglehold on this left hand side, and I think it causes us some big problems, but we'll see how that pans out. Now look, B is already armed. We've only got one team member over there. Everyone else is pretty much focused on A. Come on. Yeah, okay. But now look what's happening. We've got a huge, overwhelming amount of people running on to B. So I said, my god, let's get back towards A, so I started running up over there. Luckily, we have got 2 or 3 guys. Down on 5% again, medpack would be nice. But you see, now look at the timing. See how the gameplay has slowed down compared to the previous base? That previous base, we were always under sort of really heavy attack, They've also got a recon point here. I think I said this at the time. I was like, guys, they've obviously got a recon point. Please search it. Look, we've got 3 to 4 units coming in on that right hand side there. Yeah, there's the recon point. Oh, good God. Awful, awful gameplay. This was a bad game for me, seriously. But that recon point was marked, and you can see now, look, we've got a concerted effort coming in from that back left flank. There's a good 4 enemy, 5 enemy, and they got a tank pushing in there as well. However, remember what we were saying about confusion and distraction? Whilst they have got a lot of enemy back there, and unfortunately I'm compelled to come over here because everyone's not faring too well here, myself included. I'm still unfortunately trying to deal with this AC-130 because you just have to. You can't ignore it. You can't just worry about the people on the ground. I do start making a move back towards B though because I was so concerned. Look, it's just there's nobody here because of the strength of the attack on A, and I'm pretty sure that at the time I would have been shouting this out to everyone. Yeah, one of my team members is coming this way because I would have been shouting this out. There's no one at B. There's no one at B. Still guys power dropping in from the AC-130. Again, I can't focus wholly on those, so I'm marking them up. I've chosen one guy to deal with. This AC has been up for too long, as you see, but Rusi's making an effort on it. I've got to try and get... There we go, he's down. Watching out for this guy who's still probably in the area. There he is. Got him down. Now there was one other guy, so I'm just making a little check for this, see where he's coming up to that line. It looks like me and Solar have held this area. But you see, okay, here we go, more guys power dropping in. Do you see though, the fact that, I'm not saying that I've won this game or I defended this game super well or anything like that, because we've seen that I've had some bad moments and some good moments in this game already. Change gun, come on. Okay. Yeah, as I say, it's not that I've had like the best round or anything like that, it's not that at all. But the point is that this happens every single time, alright? Change gun, come on. Oh dear, finally I go down. Now we've got finally, look, 1 or 2 people coming over here to B. But think this, okay? If I had stayed focused on that corner over there, A, what would have happened? Okay, when I got back here, there was already a couple of guys power dropping in on B. Now if I had not moved back in this area and if I'd not shouted at Solar to do that, they would have armed B and they would have taken it no problem whatsoever. But in coming back over here, I'm marking the targets and calling out, look how the enemy have, look how the defenders have moved back over here to assist me to take this out and clear it out. The other thing is that you see, if we had not successfully defended B, they're down on 17, 16 tickets now. Now if they only had 1 base left, they could have potentially thrown everything they had, and look, even with all the people over here, they still managed to get it armed. I was pushing right up over here because I really felt, I felt in a controlled situation. Got too many people in here, look at this, we've got 4 guys in here with me. We don't need 4 people disarming this. Anyway, we must be coming up pretty much to the end now because we're getting low on tickets, but this has been, I think this has been a fairly typical defence round. I think it shows a few of the mistakes people make, and myself included. I was running out of ammo and stuff there. Yeah, myself included in this because I had a couple of good moments in this round, I had some bad moments, things didn't always go to plan, I probably made a couple of bad decisions, but again look, despite the intensity of the attack there, and the fact that we got 2, well we got, I think it's just Solar now, I don't know, but we've got a few people there. A lot of our guys have kind of pushed forward out of the area, despite the fact that they're still power dropping in. We've got tanks coming in around the place. So it's all about this kind of prioritising as always, dealing spread out, watching your targets, and I hope this all starts to kind of mesh together. You're starting to see the same kind of things that I see regularly. It's often, as I say, very small things. If people just thought as they play, okay, we have the majority of our team at A, who's at B? Tanks and vehicles, they need to go down very quickly, not because they always pose the biggest threat. They do pose a huge threat, but that, as we've said, I said this multiple times already, that isn't really the key issue. The key issue is that they will draw people's focus and attention, and that allows other people to flank. So I hope this has been a little bit of an insighty, successful round here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've wanted to do some more defense things, as I've said already. I'm going to be covering some more Battlefield 3 stuff very soon. If you've liked and enjoyed this video, please, give it a little rate up. That always helps me out. And I look forward, as always, to reading your comments, thoughts and feedback. And I'll see you for some more Battlefield 3 stuff very soon.